And good evening, people of WyoNation. This is your WyoNation Postgame Show, as we are here with our live reaction right after the game between your Wyoming Cowboys and the Grand Canyon Antelopes. Joining me is Mr. Basketball on WyoNation, Bryan Stevens. Hello, Bryan.
Hey, Chad, and welcome to the Mountain West's 25-26 Wyoming basketball team.
Yeah, so I was going to open up with something just as snarky as I was all for adding Grand Canyon to the conference early, but now I think I've changed my mind.
No, I love it. I love it. This is a hell of a basketball league this year, and Wyoming got a very rude awakening to that tonight.
Did for sure. So your final score: GCU 82, Wyoming 70,
and it wasn't nearly that close.
No. And we'll talk about that. And I guess the big thing, right, is they fell down at one point in the first half, 18-3, and could never really recover. And just watching the game, my observation is that we really didn't start playing like free-flowing basketball until the second half when we were down 20.
Yeah, they came out really, really flat, which I'm very surprised to see. That's not something we've seen this year. You'd think if they were going to be up for any game, it would be the conference opener. But I mean, the players looked like they were ready to go home for Christmas, man. It was really ugly, and I would love to be on a fly on the wall in the post game locker room because those players they're going to get told exactly what they did wrong.
Well, they did throughout the game. I've never seen Sonny like during a game. I mean, he was going after it today to the players.
Yeah, Shay put it best in our group chat. Like, they came out and they were flat, like incredibly flat. They were trying to play their game, but you and I talked about this before the season ever started. It was after we had finalized the recruiting class. We have a small team, and they've done a good job of pounding the paint until now. But when you come up against a team that's got some legitimate bigs, they shut down the paint and had active hands, and it was game over from the start.
Yeah, and very similar to what we talked about sometime in the non-conference play, and I can't remember who. I think it must have been the Sam Houston game, to where you said, hey, Sam Houston, we didn't deal with their pressure, their defensive intensity, and you said that's on film, and you said once we get in conference play, every conference team will do that. And guess what? It's exactly what we saw.
First conference game.
The dogs are out. The dogs are upset about the loss as well over at Bryan's house. It's okay.
Sorry, my wife's out of town, so I'm watching the dogs.
We can deal with the dogs. Don't worry. So, yeah, but you brought that up, and right, sure enough, one conference game in, Wyoming is now having to learn a very, very tough lesson. But it's right. I guess it's better to learn it now than in a few months.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, let's just get into it. If you can't, it is shocking to me that we shot 11.5% from three on our home court.
2 of 24.
2 of 24.
Yeah.
3 of 26, actually. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, they did. It was before the last 2 garbage time shots. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, Leland Walker shot 33%, Keaney Saxon shot 50%, and everybody else just threw up bricks. The only player that didn't attempt a three was Abu Magasa, which that's not his game. His game is playing inside.
Correct. But
they just got absolutely – they were out of their rhythm from the start. So it's a bad deal, man.
Yeah, we'll get more into the stats here, but just like my general observations is, right, and again, it's hard to compare these programs because, right, they're a winning program. Drew has been their head coach he's in his 6th season, right? And even before then, I think they were fairly decent.
Yeah, it was Dan Marley before Drew was there. So
exactly. So they're a well-established program. And just today, they were long, lean, and way more athletic than us. And
yeah,
that's just the bottom line. Is we have roster-wise, we've improved it a lot, but we still have like several steps to take before we can be, like a true Mountain West contender.
Yeah. It's I was talking to a friend, and maybe we got a little bit of fool's gold at the beginning of this year. Watching, we had not a great non-conference slate, which Sonny did all he could.
Yeah.
Getting us teams that we could play. We played some good ones. Played Texas Tech close. They got up for that game. They were not up for this game, and the lesson they're going to take away from this is Texas Tech is what every Mountain West team is going to look like. Like they're going to press you, they're going to punish you down low. You have got to be ready.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Yeah, from a physicality standpoint, we just weren't there and could never really get the offense going. And that was seeing in the shooting, as you just outlined. So unless there's any
and
other
it was really the lack of 3-point shooting that precipitated the offense getting going. Like, this is your home floor. I mean, everybody's going to have an off night from time to time, but everyone had an off night tonight. Like, it's really rare that you see it. We have 12 players. The odds of all 12 of them just being stuck in the mud as far as scoring goes are insanely low.
True.
So a little bit of bad luck on this one, but at the same time, they were not prepared. And
yeah, let's hope it's.
I would be really shocked if we see that happen again this season.
At home, anyway. Right, because it could happen on the road, right? You could go to the Pit or to San Diego State and have a similar experience later down the road.
Yeah, we've got, a lot of the players that are on this team that are playing well haven't played D1 basketball before this year, and I think that showed.
Mm-hmm.
You've got guys like Keone Saxon in there that was very outmatched at the start of the game. He's gotten better as the year's gone on.
He adjusted, yeah.
He did, and he adjusted well. Abu Magasa came in and played really well in the second half. I also don't think that the subpar officiating at the beginning of the year did us any favors. We had refs with really tight whistles at the beginning of the season, and you're not going to see that during conference play, and you're absolutely not going to see that in the conference tournament. That's how we were playing to start the year, is how you need to play. And because we collected so many whistles, they're not playing as hard, and that's going to bite us in the ass for a couple games.
Sure, yeah, that's going to take an adjustment. Yeah, that's a good point. And that's a really good point.
I will say that after that first 10 minutes, Steve Gozer kept talking about it on the broadcast. After the first 10 minutes, they played pretty close. They played a good brand of basketball. They looked like they belonged.
Mm-hmm.
But man, they came out and spotted them 17 points, and that's all there is to it. Like, when you're like, I think these were pretty evenly matched teams, different strengths, obviously. But when you're spotting a team 17 points and you lose by 12, that tells you what you need to know. You came out flat. Came out completely flat. There was no juice, and I don't think Sonny's going to be real happy about that.
No, the juice man is not going to be happy with the no juice. But yeah, if you look here briefly, if you just look here, right? I mean, we played them about kind of close to what they did to us in the first half and the second, right? And you just can't get down 18-3 to start a game at home. So,
and I mean, that's been our game all season too. It's that last 5 minutes is when we really turn the screws and get teams to quit. And that's what happened today. They played really, really, really well in that last 5 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that first 10 minutes were the worst basketball I've seen this team play all year.
Sure. Let's highlight a couple of the positive things that we could talk about. How about free throw percentage today? We outshot them at the line.
Yeah, free throws have gone really well since that Sam Houston game. They haven't been an issue. Like, it was really bad on that game. We lost that game because of free throws, flat out. And that problem has been solved. The coaches have got the team believing in themselves, and the free throws are falling the way they should. Another big one that I want to highlight on here is the turnovers.
Yes, that was going to be my number 2. Mm-hmm.
say I think we had 9 or 10 first half turnovers.
Yep.
So and a lot of those were trying to dump it off inside with, this was a bigger team that had active hands, and you can't get away with that crap. They were trying to get too cute for the first 10 minutes of the game. And when the three's not falling and you can't get inside, like, that's going to be ugly. It started to break open when we started seeing guys like Uriah Rojas and Leland Walker and Caden Bennett being able to hit those mid-range jumpers at the top of the key, or at the free throw line. That's what opened up the offense and kind of let it breathe a little bit in the paint to where they could drive in.
Yeah, and if you go here, I didn't even see this until now. We actually outscored them in the paint. It was just shocking to me, considering how poorly we played in the first half.
Yeah. Another thing to look at is that assist number. So we had a negative assist to turnover for, I think that might be the first time this year we've had a negative assist to turnover ratio. Mm-hmm. And again, the vast majority of those came within the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yep. Let's see here. So yeah, points wise, your leader tonight was Walker, which is not a surprise. Meyer, too, coming in with another double-figure game, but offer him 3 for 10 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, 6 of his 12 points coming from the line, which is fine.
Yeah.
Then Walker with 13 as well. The only person who was anything close to halfway decent at the three-point line, going 2 for 6, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, so not great there.
Yeah, Leland Walker's the guy this year. He's the catalyst behind the whole thing. Naz Meyer is the next man up right behind Leland. They're kind of interchangeable. Caden Bennett got in foul trouble early, and that hurt. That hurt a lot.
Yep.
He leads the team in rebounding. I think he's the third leading scorer, if not the second leading scorer. That one was bad. Matija Belic came in, and he looked slow in that first half. He looked like he was stuck in mud. He had a really off game. And when you have one of your best players in foul trouble, you have one of your starters that has an off game, and when nobody can hit a three, like, you're done. You are flat out done.
Yeah, they really cooled off here. So GCU first half, I have it written down, they shot 62% from the field, so ended at 57 for the game. Again, you're not going to win many games if the other team's shooting, 57%.
Yeah, and it was a combination. Like, they were hitting outside shots, they were hitting inside shots, and we were unable to take one of those away. And typically what we've seen from Wyoming this year is they are able to take one of those away. Like,
sure.
Usually we saw it in Texas Tech. Texas Tech, we let JT Toppin score. Like, we picked our poison, but the 3-point line got shut down. Today, it didn't seem like that plan was in effect.
No, and maybe that's what they should have done. So maybe they'll learn from that, especially with a team that was so right. I mean, they had 2 really big bigs, the kid from Turkey, and then the other guy brought him back, who's a transfer from Nebraska. So
6'10" and 7'1", and we're not talking about a 7-footer that can't play from Nebraska, like somebody that used to be on our team.
We got the wrong transfer. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But field goal percentage in the first half for Grand Canyon was 62.5. That's insanely good. That's speaking to Wyoming's defense was not ready for this game. Second half, it was 50%. That's still way too much. When you look at the Pokes in the first half, they shot 33%, which is awful. 40% in the second half, which is respectable. That's fine. But when the other team's lights out, that means you are not defending. And
they never could really, right? Because the key in this game was somehow get the score to under 10 with under 10 minutes left, and they could just never get enough defensive stops to do it.
Yeah, it was the combination of not getting enough defensive stops, and when you can't hit a three, you can't come back.
Yeah.
So it was bad, man. It was really bad. That was the worst basketball we've seen from Wyoming this season.
Yeah. So we'll see what Sundance has to say in the post game will be interesting. And then to see how he talks next week
Yeah.
before our next game will be against the Air Force Academy in the Springs.
Yep. Now, let's not take anything away from Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon's a good team.
Oh, yeah.
They've won the WAC several years in a row. There's a reason they were added. They were added for basketball, and they're a damn good basketball team. So, and they looked like it. They played well, and Wyoming looked like they were not ready. I will be very interested to see how ready they are when we go to Phoenix later in the year.
Mm-hmm. And it continues, I guess, the trend of this series. This is only the third meeting, but the road team has won every game.
Yeah. And that's
2 in Laramie, 1 in Phoenix.
That's kind of odd. Yeah.
So interesting there. I wanted to pick your thoughts on this because it's kind of the opposite of what you have relayed to us. Is in the past couple weeks, in the past couple press conferences, Sundance Wicks has pointed out that Magassa's playing time has dropped because he's not doing, quote, like the right things, that he's not working hard enough. And that kind of shocked me when I heard that.
Yeah, it is too bad because I think Magassa is probably our best post player. Like, that's not taking anything away from Gavin Gores, but Abu's a bigger player. He's got a bigger body. He can handle those big guys leaning into him a little better than Gavin Gores can. Gores is still, he's still 18, 19 years old. He's still got some weight that he needs to put on. But Abu was the best defender that we had for a lot of the season, but his offense has been flat out non-existent. If you take him out of the paint, if you take him more than 3 feet away from the basket, he's not going to shoot. So I don't know if that's the way he's being coached. I don't know if that's the way he likes to play, but I've been there when he's in the gym putting up a million shots from the elbow. So I don't know why he doesn't take them in game, but something's going on there that needs to get fixed, and I hope he can get it fixed soon.
Sure. So, and I was kind of surprised that they didn't put him in earlier in the first half when we were struggling down low.
Yeah, but I mean, Saxon's earned his playing time. Saxon's been looking really well for the last few games.
Sure.
I think his fears of his game not stacking up, coming from D2 to D1, were realized today. He was outmanned.
Yeah, and he's going to
he got better in the second half
in a lot of games.
Yeah, he got better in the second half, but his limitations are Abu's strengths. So being able to play those guys off of one another is going to be something we need to keep an eye on as the season goes on.
All right, so I'm not sure what's going on here. I've turned off the share screen, but in the broadcast it's still on. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
A little weird out there.
I don't see it from my end.
Okay. Yeah, but when I'm looking on Twitter, it's there, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
So that's fine. We'll just deal with it. I guess what else is there to say? Nothing really too much to talk about that we haven't already hit. Disappointing, I guess we can say from a big picture. It's disappointing because it's a problem I think we had when football was having attendance problems, right? Everybody was like, come to the game, and we'd finally get a good crowd, and then they get blown the F out.
Yeah, and I don't know what the crowd was today. I'll have to look that up. It looked decent.
Let me see if they have it listed in the game notes here. Notes say 3853.
Yeah, so still not great. No. I mean, the AA holds 12,000. So I realize that it's the weekend before Christmas and people are still getting the last minute shopping done and all that stuff. So it's a tough time. I wasn't able to make it up there. This was one I had planned on going to. My wife's out of town though, and we got a new puppy, so I have to be at home. But again, this is a team that deserves our support. Even though they laid an egg today, that's the first time all season that's happened. Like, this has been a good team. This has been a prepared team. Everybody gets an off night. Like, I don't know about you, Chad, but not every day at work is my best day. Most days are, but some days aren't.
Sure. Yeah. And luckily for us, our work days aren't broadcasted on the internet for everybody to see, right?
Yeah, that would it wouldn't be very exciting watching me sit at a desk all day. So I'm thankful for
Very true. So, all right. Well, I think that's kind of wraps it up. Disappointing, but again, they'll learn, right? I think this will be a really big teaching moment, and they've learned the intensity of conference play, which is ironic considering that Grand Canyon's never played a Mountain West game before. So,
yeah, but they belong.
yeah,
they are going to contend for a championship this year. They're a good team. They're going to be up there with your Utah State, San Diego State, Boise States. It's going to be a really, really good year for Mountain West basketball. So we were talking about it on the chat not too long ago. You know, Joe Lunardi's got one Mountain West team in the bracket right now. They do this every year. Every year they're like, oh yeah, San Diego State's going to make it. Nobody else will. And then by the time Selection Sunday comes around, there's 4 to 5 teams in there. It happens every year. Now those teams need to start winning their games.
Yeah.
But this is a good basketball squad. We have good players in this program. We have good players in this conference. It's going to be a good year for Mountain West basketball.
Great.
And it's going to be a good year for Wyoming basketball. Don't let this game sour your mood, guys.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's just one game. And as I said, they'll learn. And I don't think they'll be this flat again. At least at home.
I have not seen a team turn around their mistakes like this team has this year ever. Like we were talking about the free throws earlier. That was solved immediately. Turnovers were a problem early in the season. That was solved immediately. Today was a different story. But again, today was an anomaly. Rebounding was an issue early in the season. That's been solved. Like we have good coaches that are coaching the right way and they know how to communicate with these players. We have players that have bought into the system. We're going to be all right.
100%. So I do believe that the Air Force game must be, is it like a midweek game in like 10 days? I think is what they said. It's like on the 30th of December or something like that.
That sounds right. I'm looking it up. Yeah, December 30th, Tuesday the 30th.
Okay. So a week off for the holidays for the Pokes, and then December 30th at the Air Force Academy, and I imagine that's another stream game. Does it say
I believe so, yeah.
Mountain West Network, I'm sure. But if you've never been to Clune, it's a fun place to watch a game as well.
It is.
They are highly recommended.
They are actually at a higher elevation than us for basketball because Clune is up on top of a hill.
Yeah, but I've been to Clune a few times, and it's a small gym, and it's a fun. So if you've never made it and you live in the area, head on over.
Yeah, if you're one of the folks down in the Denver area, make the trip. It's a good time.
For sure. And I might too, because I think I'm off that week. Maybe I might make the trip down.
Yeah. So, yeah, after the December 30th game, we're in Albuquerque in the pit against New Mexico. That one's on CBS Sports. And then UNLV comes to Laramie on January 6th. So, pretty good slate to start the conference season.
Yeah. For sure. So, all right. So that is going to be the post game for today. I will be back either on Sunday or Monday, and we'll talk a little Wyoming football with the announcement of the new OC. So I'll break that down with somebody, which needs its own show, of course. So don't think we've forgotten about it. We're just trying to find time to fit it in. But we'll definitely have some talk. I've done some research on it, so on this guy and his history, and there's a lot to talk about there as well. So,
yeah. And as the season goes on, like we're going to try to get some guys that are similar to us that work with other schools to talk to us about the teams we're going to play in basketball before the games. I wasn't able to find somebody from Grand Canyon for this one, but I'll work on finding a guy for Air Force to pop on before we play that game so we can kind of get a little preview in and figure out what we need to watch for from the Falcons.
Sounds good. So, all right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for joining us. And we'll be back soon with a football show on the new OC. So until then, everybody take care and go Pokes.
Go Pokes. Merry Christmas.